Married at First Sight UK, Episode 21, Part 2. Continuing on with our Married at First Sight UK reunion, we have Megan and Bob. As I said before, these two walked into the mixer together. The question was, are they together? Are they just friends? And what we've established from them being on the couch is that they're just friends. Yep, they've formed a nice friendship, these two. Mel, the matchmaker, did ask whether there could be anything brewing romantically, and they shut that down very quickly. Well, let's put it that way. Megan did. Yes, she did. I think Bob still wishes, because from his mannerisms, you could see that he still feels slightly defeated that it didn't work out. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to say it. He looks defeated, but he'll take the friendship nevertheless. When they were talking about the friendship, Megan did state that we do get on. And then she puts a little jab in by saying for a certain amount of time. Yeah. I expected her to say that. I did. She just couldn't help herself. Bob did say that the journey was harder than he thought it would be. He then went on to say that he's happy with where they are. Bob, why don't I believe you? Your mannerisms give you away. He wished things had turned out differently. That's really what you should have said. But he's happy with the friendship. One of the matchmakers did ask, so what did you find negative about the whole experience? His next answer was, that guy over there. He was pointing at Jordan at the time. Yes, he was pointing at Jordan. Jordan's face was like, he wasn't laughing. He wasn't smiling. Nah, he was very serious. Jordan's face, he looks miserable all the time, to be honest. But he didn't take it as a joke. Bob said joke. Tried to laugh it off, but Jordan wasn't laughing. He then carried on to say that situation was difficult to get past. Megan then carried on to say she wished it hadn't happened. A lot of people were hurt by it. Hopefully we learnt some lessons by it as well. She also said she took responsibility for it, and she's still apologising for it now. It was at that moment that Mr. Matchmaker turned around and said to Megan, "You've apologised." And then he turned around to Mr. Jordan, that was in the audience, and said, "Do you have anything to say?" Yes, he did. "Do you have anything to say?" He turned around and said, remembering rightly, I did apologise to you at the ceremony. And being the man that I am, I will apologise again. But nobody knew who he was apologising to. So this is where Paul came in again and said, "Are you apologising to Megan?" Said, no. If you do recall, if you want to go look back at the cameras, that's virtually what he was getting at when he said it. You know, his passive aggressive nature. Paul took it like, why are you on the defensive like that? He then turned around and said to Jordan, "I'm not trying to put you on blast." He was just trying to get to the point of who he was apologising to. But Mr. Jordan, still with his passive aggressiveness, was still trying to one-up on him. I don't know why. Anyway, we later established that he was apologising to Bob. That's what he did previously. He had apologised to Bob. Paul then went on to say that, okay, so they're sorry for the kiss, but how about sorry for what you left Megan to deal with alone in regards to the backlash of everything? His answer to that was, being the gentleman that I am, I apologise if I made you feel in such a way. for leaving you to answer for what we did together. Yes, for what we did together. That's how he said it. It ended with Mel, the matchmaker, saying to Megan that she's shown such maturity and integrity in how she's dealt with the whole situation. And everybody sort of clapped. Yeah. And she appreciated hearing that from her as well. I think she got a little bit teary-eyed to hear that as well. So that was a nice sense of relief for her. And then talking to Bob, she said how he's handled the whole situation with maturity and respect and a sense of humour. Good on you. Yeah, that's how she ended it. And that was the end of those two. So, yeah, Megan and Bob. Our next couple on the couch were Morag and Luke. As you can already tell, this hasn't started on a good note. These two are sitting either end of the couch. Miss Matchmaker, first question was, what's been going on? Morag turned around and said, Luke can start. Luke turned around and said, no, I'll go second. This is already frosty already. This is frosty already. Paul then intervenes to say, I can't understand what's happened. Because you two were stronger than ever the last time we saw you. And it was at this point that he decided to show a video of their vow renewals. Thereafter, he proceeded to say to Morag, from the video, you looked sincere. And Morag said, yes, I was. But then Luke's answer was, I don't think he answered. I think he shook his head as in to say no. Morag then went on to say that she genuinely felt that they were in the best place they could have been at the time. That's what she said. She felt that she owed it to them to give it a go. However, from the minute they left the experiment, she says Luke hasn't called her once. I still don't believe it. But we'll continue. And she continues to say that every day she doesn't hear from him, she gets angrier and angrier. The question now goes to Luke. What's his take on it? He turned around and said that they got to the end of the experiment and he still felt that she wasn't giving her all. He turned around and said to her that he's not going to put any pressure on her. And then they agreed that he would give her her space. He then went on to say that, yes, he didn't ring her, but every morning and every evening he would text her, and also in between. I knew she had to be exaggerating somewhere. He may not have called, but he was still in contact. Don't try that. Now you're lying. He then continued to say that he called her only once. And on that phone call, she turned around and said that she never saw them in a relationship. Yes, that's what she said. She never ever saw them in a relationship. That's what she said. Now he's saying to himself, what have I been fighting for? Followed by, so what was the vow renewals all about? She's turned around and said, oh, it's just a TV show. Oh, that's what she said. It's just a TV show. Oh, God. Some people aren't serious. There's some people that come on this show just to get a name for themselves and not there seriously to commit to anyone. Josh is one of those, like I mentioned before. And here we go again with Miss Morag. Morag then turns round and says, I never said that. Yes, that's what she said. Luke was still saying, yes, you did. And then she turned around and said, my exact words were, it's just an experiment. It's not a real marriage and you're not my boyfriend. That's what she said. Yes, she did. He then reiterated to say that you still said you didn't see us in a relationship. So what am I supposed to take from that? And then Morag turned around and said, well, you never asked me to be your girlfriend. I think, oh God, this is crazy. Oh, Morag. Now Luke's getting even more frustrated, saying, so what is it we've just gone through? What have we just gone through? And I can understand the frustration. Is she dumb or dumber? Which one is she? Dumb or dumber? It was at this point that Paul, the matchmaker, intervenes and tells them both to look at each other. Then he proceeds to ask them, do they truly want out of this? Yes, do they truly want out of this? Luke proceeds to say that he feels he's been played. And that's where Morag got off her high horse. Yeah, she did. She started to say, okay, if that's what you feel, tell me the facts. Then he goes on to say that he was never the man she wanted. And this was just a game for her. Yes, that's what he said. She then went on to say that, do you think I would do this for a game? Go through all of this for a game? I was honest with you from start to finish. That's what she said. But was she? She was honest in certain respects in regards to the physique of a man that she's looking for. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. But from start to finish, oh, I don't know about that. You knew probably 2 weeks in, you weren't going to get past, I'm not quite there yet. That's the phrase I kept hearing. It was never going to come and you knew it. You knew it. But you still kept stringing him along. You still kept stringing him along. I told you, let him go. Don't play with his feelings like that. Don't do it. But you still kept going. Her friends were saying that she was vulnerable in this experiment, as in Morag was. And Paul, the matchmaker, turned around and said, how do you feel hearing this from the rest of the group? Luke turned around and said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She wasn't trying, Virtue is trying to say. She wasn't really into it. He said he never felt it from her. No, didn't feel that at all. And then she turns around and says, then why would you say you love me? Yep, that's what she said next. And he went on to say that's exactly how he felt at the time. He was getting there. With him saying that, Morag directly turned around and said to him, so, did you love me or not? And his answer was, no. Ooh, I'm not too sure I believe that though. I don't. I think he's trying to save face here. I really do. I think he's trying to save face because of the embarrassment of the whole experience, the whole experiment. Yeah. He doesn't want to look like a dick any more than he does now. That's really what I see. She's embarrassed him enough. As far as he's concerned, enough is enough. At the same time, the rest of the group were flabbergasted to hear him say, no, he didn't love Morag. But like I said, he's trying to save face. And as he added, he did have feelings for her. He did have feelings for her. But the more time they're away from each other, the more he's seen the effort not being put in. He's become bitter. He has. Which is something I said right at the beginning about him saying he's not bitter, he's not angry. But you are bitter and angry. Who wouldn't be? Fast forward, Mel the matchmaker then did say, what have you learnt from this process that you can take forth into a future relationship? Yeah, that was her question. Luke's answer to that was, I can't change. I am who I am. Yes, Luke. Say it. I am who I am. He then goes on to say that he's over it. He's over it. And he just feels used. Poor guy. Like I said, he looked stressed. Just looking at him. From the minute he walked in the door that day, he looked stressed. He's got the whole world on his shoulders, thinking, what was this all about? These how many weeks or months through this experiment, this process? What was it all about? The poor guy. He was already broken before he came into this process. Let alone now. Oh, the poor guy. Oh, I feel for him. I really do. Now, Morag's answer to that same question was, I do want someone. She was very guarded before. She said she didn't want a relationship. She didn't want marriage. She didn't want anything like that. Hang on a minute. I'm confused now. And so is Mr. Luke sitting by her side. Absolutely confused now. So what was the whole point of the experiment? Why were you on the show? Why are you taking up valuable space? Why? Why are you wasting people's time? But she then goes on to say that it has opened her up to wanting someone. That is right for her, not wrong for her. Yep. You know where I'm going with this. Oh dear. Oh dear. I just wish she wouldn't have used Mr. Luke the way she did. She could see he was broken. In the first 2-3 weeks, you should have cut it off right there. He wasn't for you. You weren't going to change your mindset about the aesthetics of a man that you were looking for. Mr. Rugby, Mr. Muscles. Yeah, that type of guy. You wasted Luke's time, my time, and everybody else's time. Moving on from those two, the next people on the couch were Marilisa and Frankie. These two, as I said before, look very comfortable with each other. Yeah, they look very good together. I must admit, I'm sure I'm seeing a change with Frankie. His hair looks different. Plus, he looks much more relaxed. Yeah, he looks much more relaxed. He hasn't got that ego that he had going on before. Yeah. So let's see where we go with this. The first question that the matchmakers asked him was, so Frankie, where are you living now? His answer to that was, he's actually living in England, in the same town as Marilise. So that tells me he's not actually living in her house, but in the same town. He was next asked, what's it like living in the UK? And he said, I've had to leave my old life of Dubai with the ego behind as well. So being in England, it's like you're the new guy. So it's about starting all over again, creating a new him. He also said the nice feeling of meeting someone amazing pushes that ego to one side. So like I said, I could see there was a change. I could see that. That's a good start. Marilise was then asked, how does it feel to hear Frankie say this? She turned around and said it feels amazing to hear this. He came here with just a bag in his hand. And he hasn't complained once, even though he may be feeling the trepidation and the anxiety behind all of this. But he hasn't put that pressure on her, which she finds very exhilarating. She totally appreciates how much he's made it easier for her, taking the weight off her. She also goes on to say that he's mingled with her friends, family, kids. Yeah, he's doing his best to sort of get into the mix. And in regard to her kids, they've mentioned to her that Frank is the best guy that she's dated. They actually love him. I was like, whoa, Frankie, what have you done? What a transformation. That sounds so sweet. To hear that, especially from someone's children, is a big feat in itself. Congratulations, mate. Yeah, well done. Frankie then ended it by saying, a friend of mine, Paul Bronson, everybody laughed, of course, once said that actions speak louder than words. It's been around forever. Actions do speak louder than words. You can blow all the hot air in the world. Doesn't mean shite. Show me. Show me. That was a nice ending to their journey. Fingers crossed it lasts. Moving on. Last but not least, we have Adam and Taya. Yep, Adam and Taya, the newly engaged couple of the series. With these two, they were first asked, how is married life? They started off as friends, became lovers. Everything's been plain sailing for them, very easy, very straightforward. Best thing they've ever done. We then saw a clip of Adam proposing to Taya, and yeah, that got them in tears. Adam and Taya both in tears. The music behind the proposal was very dramatic, felt like a film, like a love story, so all very dramatic, but heartfelt at the same time. Then we also had Mr. Paul Brunson, also in tears. He was very emotional when talking. His words were, "Thank you for showing us what love looks like." Yep, what love looks like. As Taya said, their journey has been smooth sailing, rarely any bumps in the road. But we're going to have to wait and see how it is on the outside. But I can't see these two having much problems, to be honest. The matchmakers got these two right. They definitely did. Congratulations again to Taya and Adam. I just realised, what happened to Alexis and Jordan? We didn't see them on the couch. Not sure what happened there. Not sure what happened there. But anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. If you'd like what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.